People want to know about that. Why? Because you're human. They have kids too. Your kids had a birthday party. You had a bad experience with a customer service representative. Guess what? Your customers had those experiences as well. They want to know that you are actually a human being. Personalize what you're doing. Most of this stuff, like I said, most of the stuff that I talk about has nothing to do with my quote unquote expertise. It's about me as a person. Now, you all may have, it may be a little bit more of a challenge for you if you're representing a company, but have this conversation internally with your organization. That organizations are run by what? People, right? Aren't you all human beings? Yes, the company is an entity, but it's run by humans. Be a person, be a human being. Talk about what's actually happening in your human life, in real life situations, because all of you, yes, you're at work at sometimes, but when you're off work, you're doing things that have nothing to do with what you do for a paycheck. Talk about that stuff. People want to know that you're human. They want to know that they can relate to you. We buy from people who we know, like, and trust. How does the know, like, and trust factor get built? Just like I talked about in the faucet challenge, as you are slowly dripping and giving people a little bit of yourself every time that you publish, what are you doing? You're building know, like, and trust factors. Let me ask you a question. If I offered all of you a chance to be in a room full of people that are your ideal prospects, but they all had to come from one particular source, what source do you want those people to come from? One source. It could be a cold ad. It can be from your content. It can be a referral. It can be some mail that you sent out. Where do you want those ideal clients to come from? They could be all from one source. Where do you want them to come from?
Referrals.
Referral and word of mouth. Why? Why are they the best customers? They trust you. They trust you. Why? We call that a warm lead, right? Why do we want warm leads? Because the know, like, and trust factor already exists. When you create content and you're slowly dripping on them every time and you're humanizing your material, here's what you want to happen. And all of you said you've done this before. You've gone down a rabbit hole in somebody's material. How many of you have ever gone down a rabbit hole with somebody's material? You have never met that person in person, but you feel like you know them. Any of you ever had that happen? All of you have somebody that you've gone down that rabbit hole and you're like, I feel like I know this person, but I've never even met them. You want your clients and customers saying that to you. You want them saying, I feel like I know you, even though we never met. Because people who we know, like, and trust, that we're not wary of them when they make us an offer. We're ready to buy. That's a warm lead. So understand that your warm leads don't necessarily have to be referrals. Your warm leads can be people who are just following your material because it's humanized and you're slowly dripping on them, not turning on the fire hose, but you're slowly dripping on them who you are, what you're about, that you can help them, of course, but also that you're human. Because again, how many of you have ever just gotten somebody, they're giving you a bunch of material and they just told you how great they are and how many people who they serve and how much they can help you with their expertise, and you're like, man, I'm just ready to buy. Maybe sometimes, but oftentimes we got to warm up to people, right? We have to warm up and know that this person can help us. And the more we can humanize that relationship, the easier it is to make the sale. You want people to feel like they know you just from the material that you're putting out. And that means you are not trying to create content. Stop trying to make content. Be a human being. Just give them some real life stuff. This is what we connect with. You're not friends with people because they tell you how great they are at work, right? You're friends with people because they tell you their human experiences. You can do the exact same thing. So in conclusion, I don't know if I even made a conclusion slide here, but yes, I did. All right. 4 things. Number 1, say something unique that makes you stand out from everyone else in your space, that makes you notable, remarkable, and memorable, meaning people will take note of you, they have a remark to make about you, and they remember that you exist. Do not be boring. Number 2, own your approach. Your approach or your subject matter. If you can't dominate the subject matter, usually there's only one person who dominates the subject matter. Own the approach so that when people know you're coming, they know they're going to get it a certain way. Play the long game and drip on people. Don't try to turn on the fire hose. Just slowly drip on them and be a human being in your content and the things that you are sharing. Now I have, according to that clock over there, is that accurate? Okay. Well, I had a slide for questions, so thank you. All right, questions. All right, there's the speaker box is there. So is somebody going to speak up first and ask a question? Or is my material just so amazing that nobody has a question? All right, there we go. Thank you, sir.
Is this on? You can hear me?
Yes.
All right, awesome. My name is Mark Jacobs. When you say to post things, and you came from a background of YouTube, posting mostly videos, but you're talking about writing things. Where are you posting these things that you're writing for your personal life experiences?
Good question. What's your name again, sir?
Mark Jacobs.
Mark Jacobs.
Yes, sir.
Mark Jacobs, like the designer?
Just like that.
Okay. All right. So Mark Jacobs says, I talked about how my background was on YouTube, but I also have spoken about writing.